Well, good morning, South Mississippi. Take a look. This is the Hancock Whitney camera over in Gulfport. It's been a pretty nice day and a pretty cold start to the day as well. Many of us with frost or even ice on the windshields if you were up early this morning, and hopefully you had some time now to warm back up hopefully maybe start those engines early and go ahead and get that ice defrosted. Good news is that we are now above freezing across all of South Mississippi. We have warmed up quite a bit since this morning. Here's a look at the temperatures across the area right now, and you can see there most of us now starting to near 40 degrees. Gulfport's, Biloxi, and Bay St. Louis all at or above 40 already. Moss Point 39, Loosedale still pretty cold, 33 degrees. Wiggins also 33 at the moment. Poplarville 34 as of right now at just after 8:30. So things do look pretty good as we go through the rest of today. Cloud cover, of course, will continue to increase as we go into the rest of the day, and that's because we do have a system off to our west. You can see there just south and east of Houston. You can see some rain already starting to develop with a small low pressure system that is going to be moving our way late tonight, and that will be bringing a lot of rain this evening and overnight tonight. Let's talk about the temperature forecast for today. Good news is that we're going to warm up very quickly over the next couple of hours into about those mid-50s by noon. Maybe some of us could get up into those upper 50s. We'll have to see. That really does depend on the cloud cover and if we can get a little bit more sunshine before the rain begins. Tonight's temperatures hold steady with lots of cloud cover and that rain moving through. Here's what Futurecast looks like. You can see some of that rain does start to move into South Mississippi as early as about 3 p.m. You can see here by 4 o'clock this afternoon, we could start to see some more of those widespread showers working their way into South Mississippi, and then there's the rest of that rain late tonight. Around 11 p.m., some of the heaviest rain just offshore. At least some of these heavier downpours could begin to work their way into South Mississippi closer to midnight. And looking at there, that's about 3 a.m. You can see the heaviest rain now very close to the coast. It's going to be a matter of if we can get this rain to come any closer or not. This run of Futurecast, as you can see there, does have most of that heavy rain remaining offshore, but once again, some of the heaviest downpours could be possibly in our coastal communities and work their way even a little bit further inland during the very early morning hours tomorrow. By the time we get to your morning commute, you can see there are scattered showers still possible behind this system. That's 7 a.m. and then by the time we get into about midday into the early afternoon hours of Monday, you can see even that cloud cover starts to move back out, and we do give way to those mostly sunny skies just in time for sunsets on Monday. Looking at your low temperatures for the rest of the week, well, it's going to be another cold start for a couple of days. You can see there Tuesday morning waking up in about the mid to lower 30s, maybe a light freeze for our inland areas. Wednesday and Thursday still waking up in about those mid to upper 30s. By the time we get towards Friday into the weekends, things do start to warm right back up. Morning temperatures in the 40s and 50s. High temperatures for the week, most of us holding steady in about those mid 50s. Once again, a little bit of a warming trend as we go into the weekend. Some of us may be getting into the upper 60s, possibly close to 70 degrees by Saturday afternoon. Looking a little bit further ahead as we go into the week after that, it does look like it's going to get a little bit on the colder side once again. Climate Prediction Center here showing a fairly high confidence for much cooler than average temperatures for a lot of the central United States going into January 19th. This could begin to possibly push down into the southern and eastern portions of the country as we go later into that week. Of course, we'll have more time to fine-tune the details of those temperatures over the next several days. Now, a couple cool things going on if you're interested in astronomy or if you're a stargazer. Look up right after that cloud cover clears on Monday. We might be able to catch the full moon rising. This is the first full moon of 2025, known as the Wolf Moon. That rises in the eastern sky at 5:04 p.m. Monday afternoon, or Monday evening, I should say. And that same day, just a few hours later, Mars will be passing directly behind the moon. This is known as the lunar occultation of Mars. This will occur right around 7:30. You'll see Mars disappear behind the moon. Give it about 2 or 3 hours. By the time we get to about 9, 10 o'clock, Mars will then reappear on the opposite side of the moon as it moves through that eastern sky. Of course, the closer to midnight you get, the closer to almost directly overhead the moon will end up being. Of course, that really does depend on how quickly we can get that cloud cover to clear from that system Monday morning. Currently, it looks like we're going to be dealing with possibly at least some partly cloudy skies Monday night. Very cold. It'll be in the 40s in the evening, quickly dropping down into the 30s by late Monday night into early Tuesday morning. So just maybe bring a coat or a jacket if you're going to be out there for a little while. And as we turn over to the West Coast, of course, we still are hearing a lot about those fires in California, the Palisades and the Eaton being the largest of the two. You can see there, downtown Los Angeles is kind of tucked in the middle of it all. You can see none of those fires, thankfully, have burned into downtown LA itself, but you can see there lots of fires in and around LA County. The smallest of them being the Kenneth, a little bit further there to the north and the west. Now, one of the things that's been really a problem with these large fires is those wind gusts. You've been hearing about that. They couldn't fly any of the firefighting aircraft earlier in the week because of how strong the winds are. That's because Southern California is currently in a pattern known as the Santa Ana winds. You may have heard of this before. What it is high pressure develops up in the Nevada and California mountains, and then you get very relative low pressure over just off the coast. And similar to what we get here in Mississippi, when high and low pressure gets very close to each other, it forces those winds to funnel in between. And with the very high terrain there on the Southern California coast, very tall mountains running there along I-10, it forces those winds to go down those valleys and turn into the Los Angeles area. Those winds coming down the side of the mountain can get really, really gusty as it closes in on the coast. Many of those winds can get up to 50 to 60 miles per hour. In some cases, getting all the way up into 70 to 80 miles per hour. So that's why those winds have been extremely strong. A lot of the firefighting aircraft couldn't fly earlier this week. It's very possible that we could see these winds pick up again. Once again, these firefighters are going to be having a harder time. That's why they have the red flag warnings, the fire weather warnings out there, because it's going to be another one of those situations where you have very strong winds pushing those embers, could potentially spark more fires if they cannot get them under control. Of course, the firefighting aircraft as well struggle to fly when those wind speeds are over 50 to 60 miles per hour. So that's why you have seen that some days they can fly, some days they can't, and the containment of these fires will really depend on these wind speeds as we go through the next several days. Turning back to South Mississippi, look at that 7-day forecast. Things do look pretty good here over the next couple of days. Of course, later this afternoon, we could start to pick up some showers. Tonight looks pretty rainy. If you are going to be traveling or have any plans late tonight, just maybe an umbrella or a coat. The heaviest rain looks like it'll be staying offshore. However, some of the heavy rain could move close to South Mississippi or even through it by the very early hours on Monday. Just in time for your morning commute, it looks like most of that rain will start to move on out by about 6 or 7 a.m. We go back to scattered showers and we go completely clear by the late morning or midday hours on Monday. Rest of the week looks pretty dry, but those morning temperatures still pretty cold in those mid to upper 30s. High temperatures this week in the mid to upper 50s. Next weekend, a little bit of a warm-up. We could start to see those 60s once again by the time we get to Friday or Saturday afternoon. And then, as we discussed, the Climate Prediction Center does show the potential for at least some cooler than average temperatures to return as we go into the week after.